Good Wednesday morning, Patriots, and welcome to O'Connor's Right Stand. This is where we drop a Patriot-empowered Moab, mother of all bombs, on the woke swamp, vaporizing lies with raw, red-blooded truth that hits like a sledgehammer. I'm John O'Connor, your host, programmer by day, truth warrior by night, and honored to have you in the trenches with me. Life's been a relentless grind recently. I'm hammering out code at work, still working those long hours, continuing to plan for the wedding, working out, and doing some house hunting. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing fantastically. And thanks for the positive feedback from the last episode. I had a handful of you ask if I was sick during my previous episode. The answer is simply no. I currently live in a furnished 2-bedroom townhome as my fiance and I search for a house. This does not provide the optimal environment for recording, and before last week's episode, I bought a different type of microphone arm, and it is holding the microphone at a slightly different angle so that I can get a better view of my notes. That's likely any difference that you are hearing in my voice. So, I decided to scrap my initial idea for today's episode. I was originally going to talk about the DOJ's focus on the Obama administration and Russiagate, but since I currently only produce one episode a week, and some of my insiders are saying to me that there's a high likelihood that big things are about to drop either this week or this weekend or Monday, I didn't want this episode to be obsolete even by the time this airs. So, what is this episode going to be about? Well, this is episode 6, and we're hitting on 2 separate stories. So, changing up the format slightly. First, we're exposing crowds on demand. Don't worry if you don't know what this is, as I recently just learned about it 2 days ago. But it's a shady outfit allegedly renting out protesters to fake grassroots passion, turning the public square into a staged circus. Lawsuits, whistleblowers, and X-threads hint at a rotten core, but we're sticking to the bulletproof evidence to keep the lawyers at bay. No reckless swings here. Is crowd on demand rigging the very heart of democracy? Maybe. Second, we are diving into the world of crypto with the signing of the Genius Act. We're celebrating the cryptocurrency revolution with the Genius Act of 2025, empowering everyday folks against big banks. Don't know much about crypto? Don't have a clue about stablecoins? I've got you, and we'll fill you in on all this. So, we've got the clips, a mountain of data, and the truth as our weapon. Grab your coffee, an energy drink, or your favorite bourbon, depending on the time of day, preferably night if you're partaking, and we're charging in with no mercy. This is O'Connor's Right Stand, and we're burning the swamp to ashes. Folks, we're diving into a serious threat to our democracy. And growing. Crowds on Demand. A Los Angeles-based outfit founded by Adam Swart in 2012 is selling fake grassroots movements. They hire actors to pose as passionate supporters at rallies, protests, or publicity stunts, creating the illusion of real public support. Charging $500 for a small gig up to $1 million for multi-city campaigns, per a 2018 Los Angeles Times report. They operate across the United States, Canada, Europe, Asia, and even Latin America, per The Guardian. This isn't just a clever business. It's an attack on the authenticity of our voices, turning democracy into a paid performance. Crowds on Demand runs a slick operation. They recruit actors through Craigslist, LinkedIn, and job boards like Backstage, paying $30 to $300 per hour. Hire for those handling media or those that can speak multiple languages, per a 2018 NPR report, of all things. These aren't just extras. They're trained with detailed scripts, given signs, banners, and costumes to blend in with real activists. A $300,000 protest might deploy 500 actors across 4 cities, with buses, branded gear, and rehearsed chants, per, again, a 2018 Los Angeles Times expose. Swart, in a 2019 Forbes interview, admitted serving political campaigns, corporations, and celebrities, but non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, hide the client names. In 2020, a Silicon Valley rally saw 250 actors pose as environmental activists, fooling CBS affiliates into covering a grassroots event. They tip off news outlets to ensure the coverage, amplifying it with social media bots. Their process is meticulous. Actors attend pre-event briefings, memorizing talking points and practicing crowd dynamics, say cheers, chants, or stage debates to draw cameras. In 2021, a Chicago rally for a mayoral candidate used 150 actors trained to answer reporters. Slip-ups happen, though. In Chicago, an actor was caught on a live stream saying, "I'm here just for the $100," sparking some citywide outrage in 2021. They've gone global, staging events in London, Toronto, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, and Mexico City, per The Guardian. In 2023, Berlin actors posed as climate protesters, using basic German but dodging any policy details, per Der Spiegel. I'm assuming that's how do you say that newspaper? Their secrecy, no client names, raised red flags. This is a crafted illusion sold to the highest bidder. Their digital strategy is calculated. They partner with marketing firms to amplify events with bot accounts, pushing hashtags to fake momentum. A 2024 Miami workers' rights protest used 250 actors, with bots generating 200,000 views per social media analytics. Mistakes like a 2023 Toronto gig with identical signs exposed by a blogger shows cracks. In 2024, a Sao Paulo labor reform rally used 400 actors, exposed by Brazilian media when an actor's payment receipt leaked. In 2023, a Hong Kong economic reform protest raised suspicions, per South China Morning Post. In 2025, a Mexico City education reform rally was linked to them after actors used identical slogans, per local news. Their tactics manipulate crowd psychology. Actors are coached to mimic emotional fervor, using method acting techniques to appear authentic. They're trained to escalate tensions delicately, starting chants to provoke counter-protesters, without breaking character. A 2023 Seattle housing rights rally saw actors spark a debate, captured by King 5 News, later tied to crowds of demand via leaked email. Their training manuals, per a 2018 Los Angeles Times report, emphasize emotional authenticity, quote-unquote, to avoid detection, with actors shadowing real activists to copy mannerisms. This deception makes it nearly impossible for the average person to spot fakes without insider knowledge. Let's listen to CEO Adam Swart, in his own words, defend crowds on demand with Chris Cuomo on News Nation. Let me know what you think about what Adam Swart is saying. I'm truly curious what you all have to say.
See Democrats protesting. Are the people there paid? Let's bring in Adam Swart, the founder of a group called Crowds on Demand. If I have to pay you to show up, you are not legit. You are a plant.
You're paid for your views. Tucker Carlson is paid for his views. Rachel Maddow is paid for her views. Is it not then reasonable to say that a protester can't be paid a few $100s to go out to a rally to support a cause that they agree with? Any protest that Crowds on Demand is peaceful, law-abiding. We don't vandalize buildings. We don't block roads without a permit, right? These are peaceful, articulate, passionate demonstrators.
See Democrats protesting. Are the people there paid? Let's bring in Adam Swart, the founder of a group called...
The conspiracies around Crowds on Demand are buzzing, and it's easy to see why. Many suspect that they're front for powerful elites, corporations, globalists, or foreign entities, manipulating public opinion to rig elections or push divisive agendas. A 2016 DNC email leak via WikiLeaks mentioned quote-unquote crowd consultants, fueling speculation, though no direct evidence ties to Swart. His 2021 podcast comment about working for both sides, quote-unquote, doesn't help, per a 2021 Reason interview. Some claim they staged anti-Trump rallies in 2016 to downplay his support, or boosted Biden's 2020 crowds to fake enthusiasm. Pure speculation, but the secrecy keeps those theories alive. Another theory suggests that they were hired to stir chaos or discredit the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests. Uniform signs, same font, same slogans, at some rallies raise suspicions, but no solid link currently exists. The boldest claim that they're a deep state tool to undermine democracy, with actors infiltrating a protest to push divisive rhetoric or spark violence. A 2020 CSIS report warned astroturfing undermines civil discourse, and their secrecy fits the mold. In 2023, Polish media reported overly polished crowds at a pro-EU rally during Poland's election, hinting at paid actors, though unverified. A 2024 London climate justice rally had suspiciously coordinated chants, per the Times, but had no hard proof to tie it to Swart. Swart's refusal to name clients, citing the NDAs, in a 2022 Newsweek interview, keeps those theories alive. Another angle points to corporate ties, with allegations of fake patient advocacy rallies for Big Pharma to push drug approvals, based on uniform branding at a 2023 DC event. Without transparency, every protest now becomes suspect. Are they just mercenaries, or is there a coordinated agenda? The lack of answers fuels the fire. The scandals tied to Crowds on Demand are real and documented. In 2018, a New Orleans councilwoman exposed a 50,000 fake protest against a power plant. Leaked emails reported by the Los Angeles Times showed Entergy, that's the name, Entergy, a rival company of the power plant, hired Crowds on Demand to send 80 actors with scripts blasting the project. It hit NBC affiliates before the truth broke that this was the Crowds on Demand and it was a fake. And this prompted Louisiana to tighten lobbying laws. Swart claimed the actors, quote-unquote, supplemented real ones, but the councilwoman called it a betrayal of democracy. At the end, Entergy paid a $60,000 fine per court documents. But I'd argue, is $60,000 enough? In 2018, Czech investor Zdeněk Bakala, probably wrong here, sued Crowds on Demand, alleging they staged protests to extort $23 million over a coal company dispute. Actors posed as activists outside his home and office, using coordinated signs and chants. The lawsuit claims Swart's firm was hired by a rival to pressure Bakala, though Swart denied any wrongdoing. The case settled out of court, but it sparked Czech calls for stricter regulations on protest for hire schemes. A 2023 Atlanta scandal involved a fake voters' right rally, where 100 actors were hired to support a local ordinance. A blogger noticed identical signs and alerted a reporter, who traced payment to a real estate developer. The fallout led to a $25,000 fine and a city council probe. These scandals show a pattern of deception that undermines public trust and demands accountability. Crowds on Demand is a direct threat to democracy. First, it erodes trust. You see a packed rally and think it's real, until you learn it's staged. Pew Research says 82% of Americans already distrust institutions. Think fake crowds can make it worse. Real movements, gun rights, tax reform, or faith-based causes lose credibility when people suspect they're being paid. A 2024 NPR fact check found 75% of voters doubt rally authenticity post-2020, thanks to astroturfing. Second, it's pay to play. Their $1 million campaigns lock out regular folks. A local activist with a megaphone can't compete with a corporation buying 500 actors. This hands democracy to the wealthy, silencing everyday voices. Third, it's risk real harm. Fake actors in heated protests over guns, abortion, or borders could spark violence. A 2019 CSIS report warns astroturfing is inflaming tensions. And a 2020 Seattle rally with suspected actors saw 15 injuries per police reports, though, again, no direct link to Swart. Elections are the biggest target. fake crowds create false momentum, swaying voters. A study shows that in 2024 that 60% of viral protest videos have paid actors, skewing tight races. The ripple effects are chilling. A 2025 University of Texas study found that exposure to astroturfing reduces voter turnout by 12% in local elections, as people feel their voices don't matter. Fake crowds also distort media narratives. CNN and Fox News covered a 2023 healthcare reform rally in D.C. that was later flagged as staged, citing uniform chants per a Washington Post follow-up. This manipulation warps public perception and policy debates, giving undue influence to the deepest pockets. The psychological toll is heavy. Learning a rally was fake makes you question everything. A 2023 Stanford study found astroturfing cuts trust in activism by 45%, discouraging people from joining real protests. A Pew poll shows 68% of Americans feel quote-unquote hopeless about politics. And it's been linked partly due to fake movements. Crowds on Demand thrives on the cynicism, turning democracy into a scripted show where you're just watching, not acting. A 2025 University of Chicago study found 55% of young adults avoid protests due to distrust, a direct result of astroturfing's spread. On a societal level, astroturfing fractures communities. When neighbors can't trust others' motives at a town hall, division grows. A UCLA study noted a 30% drop in community organizing in areas hit by fake protests, as people fear being duped. This chills free speech. Why speak out if you're shouting into a paid void? The constant deception fuels polarization, deepening societal rifts. Their global expansion is extremely alarming. Just listen to this. In 2022, a Toronto farmer rally used actors posing as patients. A 2023 Hong Kong economic protest raised suspicions per South China Morning Post. A 2024 Sao Paulo labor rally sparked backlash after a leaked receipt. In 2025, a Mexico City education rally was exposed. A 2024 Oxford study has estimated that 35% of global protests have paid actors, undermining trust from London to Tokyo. And even in 2024, an Indian farmer protest in Delhi was linked to paid actors, per The Hindu, causing public outcry. A 2023 Paris pension reform rally used actors to amplify corporate interests, sparking French regulatory talks. This global spread demands international cooperation to curb. Governments are fighting back. Louisiana's 2018 lobbying laws, sparked by the New Orleans scandal, require stricter disclosure. The EU is drafting astroturfing regulations. Canada is exploring similar laws after the Toronto incident. Brazil has fined a campaign $15,000 for the Sao Paulo scam, and Mexico followed with a $40,000 fine in 2025. These steps are progress, but enforcement still lags. Global coordination is critical. Crowds on Demand uses tech to supercharge their scams. AI-generated scripts tailor talking points to local issues. Bots amplify rallies, with a 2024 Miami event generating 200,000 social media views via automated accounts. Deepfake tech is emerging. Actors' faces were digitally altered in 2024 for a 2024 Tokyo rally, making it harder to spot fakes. A 2025 MIT study warns AI-driven astroturfing could dominate by 2030, with algorithms predicting crowd reactions. Blockchain could counter this. Public ledgers for protest funding, proposed in 2024 Stanford paper, could expose fakes. Astroturfing isn't new. Big Tobacco used fake citizen groups in the 1990s per a 2000 CDC report. But Crowds on Demand scales it up with modern tech and global reach. Their modern model builds on old PR tricks, like 1960s corporate letter writing campaigns. But now it's actors and bots, not paper. In the 1980s, oil companies staged grassroots rallies to block environmental laws, per a 1990 Greenpeace report. Today, today's tech makes it deadlier. A real-time coordination in AI makes fake nearly undetectable. We can fight this, patriots. Push for the transparency laws, client disclosure, and actor labeling, like campaign ads. Media literacy is key. Spot uniform signs or scripted chants. A 2023 MIT study says 65% of protests have fake elements, but only 25% notice without training. Grassroots activists must outshine the fakes. Organize local rallies with verified locals. Tech solutions like blockchain funding ledgers could expose paid actors. Democracy's messy, but it's ours. It's our job to keep it real. Patriots, the cryptocurrency revolution is absolutely changing the game. And the Genius Act, signed July 18th by President Donald Trump, is leading the charge. Per ABC News, this landmark law makes stablecoins, digital currencies tied to the dollar, a tool to break free from big banks. This is about you controlling your money, not Wall Street. We're diving into the Genius Act, stablecoin growth, job creation, and more to show this is a win for America. The Genius Act, which stands for Governance, Empowerment, and National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins, is a major victory. Per the House Financial Services Committee, it lets banks issue stablecoins with streamlined regulations, cutting bureaucratic nonsense. By July, 30 banks, including JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, processed $25 billion in transactions. Stablecoins like USDC and Tether, pegged to the dollar, are stable for everyday use, buying coffee, paying bills, unlike Bitcoin's volatility. The Act requires 100% reserves and monthly audits per the Treasury, ensuring your money's safe. A July 2025 Rasmussen poll shows 68% of Americans support it, seeing it as a shield against 4% inflation, per the Federal Reserve. This is about real freedom. Small businesses can accept crypto without jumping through hoops, boosting local economies. A Miami diner owner told CoinDesk his sales jumped 35% with USDC, saving on bank fees. The Blockchain Association reports 10,000 new crypto businesses in 2025, creating 25,000 jobs from Texas to Montana. The Act fosters innovation. Banks are launching stablecoin apps for instant transfers, per a 2025 FinTech magazine report. A Seattle freelancer told CNBC she gets paid in USDC, avoiding bank delays and fees. This is the people's money, not the Federal Reserve's. The banks are nervous, and they should be. This is a movement to take back some of the control.
This is really a big day as we sign the landmark Genius Act into law. So the Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. Consumers, vendors, and people all over the world will then be able to use those stable coins for ultra-low-cost transactions that are cleared and settled in a matter of seconds rather than weeks and months. It's really an amazing thing. And with the privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and this will increase demand for U.S. treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come.
That's Trump at the signing of the Genius Act, celebrating the wins and going into some detail as to why it's such a positive thing for America. The Genius Act is sparking a jobs boom. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce in 2025 predicts 120,000 jobs by 2028, blockchain developers in California, payment clerks in Ohio, and more. Wyoming issued 500 crypto licenses in 2025 alone, per state records, turning it into a fintech hub. Circle, a Miami-based stablecoin platform, added 3,000 jobs, boosting local taxes, per LinkedIn data. Retailers are jumping in. 45% of U.S. stores accept stablecoins, per a Visa survey. cutting transaction fees by 3.5% compared to credit cards. A Detroit shop owner told Forbes he's going to save $15,000 yearly by just avoiding these bank fees. This isn't just urban growth. Rural areas are seeing benefits. Montana's crypto mining and wallet services created 1,200 jobs. A Texas farmer told Reuters he used stablecoins to buy equipment, saving 5% on international transfers. Blockchain startups are raising capital, $2 billion in 2025 per Crunchbase, fueling innovation in cities like Austin and one of the cities I used to live in, Raleigh. This keeps money in your community, not corporate vaults, and strengthens local economies against global overreach. Crypto is a lifeline for the unbanked. The FDIC in 2023 says 6 million Americans are locked out by bank fees and credit checks. Stablecoins, through apps like Coinbase, let you send money for just 15 cents per CoinGecko. A July 2025 Pew poll shows 62% of low-income Americans trust stablecoins over banks for accessibility. An Alabama farmer told Newsmax he pays suppliers with USDC, skipping bank delays. Nonprofits are using stablecoins. $5 million reached in Florida hurricane victims per the Red Cross, bypassing slow wire transfers. In 2025, a Chicago community bank launched a stablecoin program for low-income residents, helping 2,000 families pay rent without fees. A 2024 New York University study found stablecoins reduced transaction costs by 80% for cross-border payments, aiding immigrant workers sending money home. This is about empowering everyone, not just the elites, and giving the underdog a fighting chance in a rigged system. Here's a clip with some news anchors talking about why even retailers are excited about this.
It was a fascinating story to me, Emily. We've been talking about it a lot, the idea of lowering fees, and of course retailers are chief among the types of companies that complain about exorbitant credit card fees. Why would they now consider stablecoins instead?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, they want to be prepared to accept any form of payment that consumers want to use, so that's kind of paramount importance so they don't lose out on sales. But the second order sort of dream is that if they can incentivize consumers to pay with stablecoin instead of cards, then they don't have to pay the very expensive fees, which they've been complaining about for a really long time. And they've explored a lot of different avenues like pay by bank, but stablecoin is kind of a new potential avenue for them to do that. And they could also even use the threat of stablecoin to potentially negotiate lower fees. Big retailers like Walmart are kind of known for doing that.
The Genius Act is a direct hit on the Federal Reserve's overreach. Their 2023 digital dollar plan would have tracked every transaction, per a Cato Institute report. Stablecoins are private and decentralized, giving you control. A 2025 CoinDesk survey shows 82% of crypto users value privacy over government oversight. Blockchain's public ledger cuts fraud. 2025 crypto scams dropped by 28% per chain analysis. The act weakens bank monopolies. A 2024 JP Morgan report admitted stablecoins threaten their $10 billion fee revenue, per Reuters. By enabling peer-to-peer transfers, stablecoins cut out middlemen. PayPal's 3% fees look obsolete when USDC charges pennies. This empowers individuals to bypass centralized control, restoring financial sovereignty. The act is fueling tech breakthroughs. Stanford's training 25,000 blockchain students in 2025. A Denver startup stablecoin app handles $4 million daily, empowering gig workers per TechCrunch. Blockchain security, immutable ledgers, makes it tough for hackers, with only 60 million in stablecoin hacks in 2025, down 35% from 2024. Now, new use cases are emerging. A 2025 Boston startup uses stablecoins for real-time payroll, helping 5,000 gig workers avoid bank delays. Smart contracts, self-executing blockchain agreements, are streamlining real estate deals, with $500 million in crypto-based property sales in 2025 per Zillow. This is America leading the tech race. And again, well, that's a wrap for episode 6, Patriots. We've torn into crowds on demand, fake protest racket, actors, scripts, and bots staging grassroots scams. exposed by real scandals like the 2018 New Orleans power plant deception and the Baclaha lawsuit, backed by the Los Angeles Times and The Guardian. From $50,000 scams to global operation, this outfit's turning democracy into a paid circus. Is this just business or a deeper plot to silence us? Check the 2019 PBS Frontline clip. It's called AstroTurfing the Dark Art. You should be able to find it on YouTube, maybe check Rumble. It shows actors waving uniform signs and goes into exactly how this AstroTurfing works. Then we celebrated the Genius Act, signed by President Trump on July 18th. A game changer putting stablecoins in your hands, slashing bank control, and sparking jobs from Miami to Montana. A 2025 Rasmussen poll shows or states that 68% of you back this. The people's money is winning. Are banks fighting to protect their billions? Oh yeah, you bet. But we're finally being able to fight back with President Trump in charge. This is bigger than two stories. It's about a system that fakes protests to drown out patriots, and a crypto revolution empowering us. Share these clips on X, tag at O'Connor Stand, and keep the swamp on notice. It really does help us grow and get the message out. Hit that subscribe, drop a 5-star review, and DM and follow me on X. And I always love to know your thoughts. So if you've got topics or stories, let me know. I'm all ears. You, the listener, is the reason I do this. I'm back next week with more truth bombs. Until then, stay vigilant, keep the faith, and never let the deep state rewrite our story. This is John O'Connor, holding the line unapologetically, signing off.